I wanted to do a quick video on just how to make some of those graphs in StatCrunch. So I have just a data set pulled up here. It's about different body information. And you'll see across the top the title of each column. So we have age, gender, pulse, systolic, diastolic, etc., etc. That's how StatCrunch is going to identify our different columns. Now, if I want to make a frequency distribution, okay, this one is going to be slightly different than the rest as far as the menus I have to go to. So for a frequency distribution, I do need to come to the stat menu, and then I need to come down here to tables and to frequency. Now it's going to pop up this other window that's going to prompt me for some information. So this first one here, it wants to know, well, what columns should we make a frequency distribution for? I'm just going to work with the age column, so I need to click on that, and you'll see that it puts it over here, indicating that that's the column that I've selected. Now, if I want to select multiple columns, if you're on a PC, you have to hold down the control button, and then you can select multiple columns. If you're on a Mac, you have to hold down the command button. Okay? And if you want to deselect them, same thing. Hold that control button or that command button down. Now, the next part of this window is going to give me the options to kind of customize some of my information. So right here in the statistics box, it defaults to having frequency and relative frequency selected. Well, if I only want frequency, I can deselect relative frequency and only make a frequency table. Or maybe I want a frequency table and a cumulative frequency table, like all in one. So just like above, I can hold down the control button and I can select whatever I want the program to make for me. So I'm going to have it make a frequency and a cumulative frequency table. Then here it says order by. Again, you can choose value ascending. So value would refer to the actual ages. Down here where it says count ascending, that would refer to like which age occurred most frequently, and it would put that at the top. So I'm going to leave it with value ascending. I want my ages to be in order. And then I can go ahead and press compute. Okay, so it says I have a lot of unique information. Do I want to turn binning on for this procedure? So binning is going to put it into groups. And I'm going to say, okay, that would be great. And then you'll see it has produced this frequency table for me and cumulative frequency table here. So it automatically binned my ages to whatever it thought was most appropriate. So it went by 10 years, tells me the frequency in each one of those and the cumulative frequency. Now, if I want to change anything, maybe I didn't want cumulative frequency, I wanted relative frequency, I can just go to the options menu here and I can go to edit. And then I can reselect whatever it is that I need to reselect. So if I didn't want cumulative frequency, but I do want relative frequency, I can change that, press compute again, and it puts out my new table. Okay, now along with that, you're probably going to have to make some histograms. So the majority of the graphs that you're going to make are under this graph menu here. So when I want to do a histogram, I come to the graph menu, I'm going to scroll down to histogram, and I'm going to select that option. Again, you'll see a very similar window pop up for all of these. The first part here wants to know what do I want to make the graph of. I'm going to do age. Now, the bins down, actually the type here, I could have it make a frequency or a relative frequency histogram, depending on what I need. And then the bins here, those are the grouping. So we have 300 values, and we saw from our frequency table, they ranged from like 10 to, I don't know, in the 80s or 90s or something. So you can choose what to start at if you want to. Now, it's pretty cumbersome to scroll through all this 300 data points here and try to figure out, you know, what's the smallest value and what's the largest value. So what you can do, I'm going to cancel that, is you can come in here to the data tab and you can sort the data. Just like with most spreadsheets, you can sort your information. So I'm going to go ahead and sort this. I'm going to sort all columns because I want to keep my data together. And I want to sort it by the age column. And then all the other columns will adjust appropriately. And then when I press compute, it has now readjusted all these so that my youngest values are on top, and then my largest values are clear down there at the bottom, which I'm going to scroll down to. Okay, so it looks like my largest value is 80, and my smallest value was 18. So I need to make sure that when I do my histogram, I include all of those options. So I'm going to go ahead, when we did our frequency table, it started with 10. I'm going to start with 15, just to show you, how it can look a little different. Because 15 is lower than my smallest age, so I'm going to get everybody in there. And then I'm going to make my width still go by tens. Then down here, you will have the option to put in your x-axis label, your y-axis label, your title, for whatever your data is. You can change the colors here if you want. Once you get all that done, you would press compute, and then it does make our histogram. Okay, let's say you're looking at that and you need to edit it. You can go to that options, and you can go to edit again. So now right here is one kind of nice option. You can choose to put the value above the bar. So let's say I want to be able to see exactly how many are in there. Notice now it puts each value on top of the bar. So I can look at that pretty quickly and see how many are exactly in each category. So that's your histogram. All the other graphs are going to be very similar. So I can come here, I can do a stem and leaf. Select the column I want it to make a stem and leaf for. And then this one, you actually have fewer options. I'm just going to compute. And there we have our stem and leaf plot. Okay, so it typically will automatically detect what the units need to be for these values. So you don't have to go through and try to figure that out on your own. Okay, you can also do dot plots. Okay, select dot plot, make sure you select what you want. Again, you do have the choices down here for your labels and your titles, your colors, all that stuff. Compute, and then there's your dot plot. Just like with the other ones, you can edit it if you need to. If something didn't turn out right, you can go back and you can edit it. All sorts of stuff there. We can do a box plot. Okay, you would select box plot, select the category that you want, add all of your titles and stuff, and press compute, and then there you have your box plot. Okay, so most of the graphs here work very, very similarly. You have to, select it here and then just go through the prompts to select what it is that you want it to show. Now, this is quantitative data, so it's not technically appropriate to make a pie chart, but I will show you what that would look like in this situation. So now with pie chart, we have two options here. It says with data or with summary. Now with data means we have just a list of raw data numbers like we do here. With summary, if our information is given to us in the form of a frequency table, let's pull that back up. So let's say this information right here is actually typed into StatCrunch. Okay, I can't make the pie chart from this particular graph, but if this is how my information was typed in here in StatCrunch, then I would do it with summary. There we go. And it would create it from that. But in this case, I still have it with data. Again, same type of window here. I have some different options for my displays. I can order them however I want, change colors, all that stuff. Compute. And there it has made a pie chart. Now again, we wouldn't want to make a pie chart for this particular data set because it is quantitative, but I did just want to show you that difference between with data and with summary. Okay, so hopefully that'll get you started on making some of those charts and graphs with StatCrunch. It takes a little bit of practice, kind of mess around with it, but eventually you'll get the hang of it.